we're going to talk about the vast majority of the Chris Watts case, obviously.
Yes, no, please.
So we're going to talk about the case itself, but we're also going to take a look at the paranormal aspect of it too. I don't know if you guys have looked into that and so forth. So there's been, I don't know if you've seen some of my videos before as well, but there has been audio recordings of possible Shannan talking in there, possible sightings of her, possible children running through the halls and stuff like that.
Oh, but yeah, let's get into that.
I saw your video. I saw that you did a video, and I haven't had time to go through all your videos because you're posting so much, and I haven't had time to watch them.
I do post a lot, so
yeah. But you did do one, didn't you? Do one that featured. You highlighted a video with this one lady in it who was talking about that, right? The haunting at the home, and I haven't had time to watch it. I wish I would have. Okay,
so they've possibly seen her in mirrors and so forth like that, and possibly. And the way that I look at it is it's possibly residual haunting. I don't think that they're there. I think it's just things that are the energy, because I think there's difference between souls and energy, and the energy that was taken from these girls is there because the girls, the actual, the children were not killed at the house.
That's correct. What I just, yes, that's what I was watching on your channel.
They were killed at Survey 319. Because he apparently said that he killed them one time in their bed, but they woke back up.
Right.
And then he's like, well, I thought I killed them. It's like, no. And then the whole thing that for me and for the viewers and stuff like that, I don't think Chris had the guts to kill his daughters. I think Nicole was the one that did it. That's my belief.
Yeah. I don't think he had the guts either. But did you see the TikTok video of, because I saw a TikTok video on 10 to Life, and they had a video of what looked like Nicole walking with when they did like an outline to it, it looked like she was holding a small child and she had the purse. Did you see that video of that?
I did, because they compared the purse when she was in the interrogation room with the purse that was at the video, which looked identical. You could see the ponytail and that she was holding some type of, it looked like she was holding like a leaf bag, but it was white.
Yes. And then also,
I'm going to move to my living room because my internet's kind of wishy-washy.
Janky.
So
well, then maybe we need to talk about that again or edit that.
Sorry.
No.
I mean, we could do like a whole hello intro, blah, 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 whatever.
We just got into it.
I'm just doing raw cut because people just sometimes want to get into the nitty gritty. So.
Yeah.
You
know what? I noticed that for the video we did yesterday too. So girly.
Well, I don't know if it was mine or if it was yours, Shannan, because you were kind of like
well, you guys look good. All of you guys look good to me.
You guys look all good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, maybe it's mine then because you guys were frozen for a second. But my dog's out here and he's probably gonna start barking.
He's fine. Okay. You actually got worse going out there.
Did I? You were better in your bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It got really shaky and blurry.
Okay, let me go back.
Maybe your room. Go sit in the confessional she has in her room.
Oh yeah, I have a confessional in my room too. He's like, oh God, what did I get into with these bras? Okay. Okay. All right. I just have
the background looks better.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a quick question. You said that there's paranormal activity in this house. How do they know this? Is there somebody occupying the house now?
So when the first initial police officers went into the home with the dogs, body cam footage is what picked up the audio.
Got it.
So they couldn't doctor that or anything, and it was raw footage that was given, and there was a giggle that was inside a closet, but I think they found out later on that it was a doll.
Oh God.
That the dog had hit, but there's discrepancy up in the air again for other people that say no, it's not the doll. Some people say it's a doll. I mean, again, like like we've always said, there's going to be two sides to everything. People are going to believe, they're not going to believe, and so forth like that. So we're just giving the evidence, and if you want to take it with what you guys believe, have at it.
Okay.
So
cool. Yeah, no, I just want to talk about that too. So okay, so go ahead and start. We're ready.
So the paranormal was things that we've mentioned that she said something about we were still here. This was our home. We hear those little bits in here. We hear Bella's laugh in there and stuff like that. So it's definitely up in the air about the paranormal if something is there. But if it is there, I do believe it's residual. It's not them specifically, because like Shannan's mom said, and this is her belief, that she believed that when Shannan was murdered, Shannan came to her and said, "Hey, Mom, I'm going home." And then this was on Dr. Phil.
Yeah, she felt it. Yeah.
She felt it, and then she just knew. And then she got the call that the next day that her daughter was missing.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, but what do you guys, I know everybody has their opinions and stuff like that. What is your beliefs on Nicole? I know I've watched your video, a few of your videos already. You guys are on almost the same page as me that Nicole was involved.
So basically I just, and I put this out there in our other video, that there was like a lot of people that came for me when we did the Chris Watts video, because, you know, like I was feeling sorry for her and all of this.
Oh yeah.
And so people were coming at me hard, but again, I was like researching the Chris Watts video, like or the case, like right when it was happening. And I remember, the only thing I remember hearing about Nicole Kessinger was that she was the mistress or the side chick or whatever you want to call her. I didn't hear anything about this. So then once we recorded, it wasn't until a couple days later when Shannan was like, hold on a second, like I'm going down this rabbit hole now. And then once I started to research everything, then I was like, okay, clearly I'm way off here. I had a total change of heart. And then when you hear all the things that, you know, this woman has done with like stabbing somebody in the back, the DUI, the countless things that have gone unpunished, clearly she doesn't sound like she's a good person. And so
she's got a rap sheet.
Yes. And then there's, you know, so many things out there about, you know, her father being in the interview with her, him being a Freemason, him being, I mean, there's so many, those things, you can go down the whole rabbit hole of that too. And then obviously I changed my mind. So I had to put that out there because people were really upset with me when I said that I felt sorry for her.
The rabbit hole is deep on this one.
It was amazing how much stuff you start finding. And I was surprised. Well, we had one commenter that comment like, hey, didn't you watch the 5 hours of footage with Chris Watts talking to the FBI? Because he kind of alludes that they knew each other sooner. So there's people out there that know more than we known or we've even discovered. And it's amazing how much information is being brought to us. And we love it by the comments that we're getting. And I don't know, in you too, like I know you said that they send you videos and they send you the stuff and all the stuff that's coming at us. But one of the things I want to address is there's some comments in there about the black magic, the occult, things like that. So that's another, yeah, I want to dive into that, but I don't know if that's getting too far away from what we really want to, you know, focus. I don't know if that's something.
I'm looking at every aspect of this case.
So, okay. So I was watching that 10, is it 10 to Life?
Yes. 10 to Life.
Okay, so when I was watching her video, she kind of broke down like the timeline of the phone calls that were being made. And, you know, that her phone pinged there near the Watts home at 6:16 in the morning. And then nothing there, her phone clearly was shut off until 2:26 p.m. So then right after that, there were 2 phone calls made from her work, one at like 2:28, one at 2:35, and they were made to a man named Robert, who was supposedly her spiritual advisor. And this is the man that was, I guess, they were talking about like an initiation and whatever this occult, or I don't know what it is, but that's how I went down that hole, is from her video.
I mean, she's apparently, the things that I've looked into and the readings that I mean, I'm reading this at 2:00 in the morning, which I probably should not be because it's almost the witching hour. But
right,
apparently she was into I didn't know that there's good crystals, there's bad crystals, there's all these crystals. I mean, I'm not trying to get into people's love for crystals because my fiance is one of them, but apparently there's crystals found underneath the bed. There was crystals that she was using or she had in her purse, and she slipped, or she didn't slip, but she gave Chris a tea, and he didn't know what was in it, but apparently she's like, just drink it, it's gonna make you feel all better. What the hell was in this tea? What was this drink?
Ayahuasca, I wonder.
Yes, he said in the prison cell or with the FBI that he was given something to drink when he was with her at her house one night, and he didn't know what it was. It tasted like berries, but that's about it. And he said she just told him to drink it. I mean, who knows? It could be a hocus pocus drink. I mean, we don't know, but again, I can't say because there's witchcraft. I have no idea, but I mean, there's always that discrepancy up in the air, is possible witchcraft, that because I still to this day, why is she so protected? What does she have? Is she like a queen from the Niles down in Antarctica? I have no idea, but it's just she's so protected. And that's when people start to believe, they're like, well, maybe she's doing some type of voodoo on everybody, and she's putting a mask over everything, and that's how she's getting it, because she stabbed the woman in the back, like you said, because she was doing business with somebody at 16 years old. Apparently she stabbed a man in the back at a business or something like that, is what I was reading into. She's had how many DUIs?
Yes.
She did this whole thing with Chris Watts. She's done things with other married men. This is not her first rodeo. So, I mean, obviously she's done this before, but then we bring in Dwayne Kessinger, which is her father. We don't know anything about the mother. We can't find any information about her whatsoever.
It was really hard. Well, somebody did send me a Facebook page, but was that the mother or was it the stepmom?
So somebody had commented and said that mom was a nurse.
Oh, that's right. Somebody did comment and say mom was a nurse, and they gave the name of the mother.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know what? Let's find that
so
comment.
hard. It's so hard to go to all the comments. I thought I was like really on top of them. And then Shannon found a page and she's like, these are all the comments that we haven't answered. And I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm spending like 2 or 3 hours on comments.
Yeah.
Because that's my big thing, is I want to interact with my viewers.
Yes, I love it.
They love that. And I'm spending 3 to 4 hours a day going through comments, and I have thousands and thousands and thousands. So I definitely know what you guys are going through.
I want to ask a question, because maybe you can clarify, because I was asking Gina last night. Jim, the Jim that she was protecting, her friend Jim. It was Jim, right?
It's Jim, but I don't know why she's so stuck on this Jim. If this is her secondary buddy, if they're best friends, what does this Jim have? I mean, they said they were roommates at one time. And then right before she stopped talking to Chris completely, she's like, after that she found out that he was at the interrogation office, she's like, this is probably the last time you're going to talk to me. I'm going to Jim's house. I can't deal with this. I don't know what's going on and stuff like that. And I'm going to go to Jim's house and we're going to talk and stuff like that, because I don't know if I can trust you. What she's saying to Chris.
Now that's her safe house, right?
So that's a whole nother thing I got into. I didn't know she even had a safe house. But then she's saying that there's a safe house in Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
But Jim lives in Aurora.
And how far away is that? I wonder how.
So Denver and Colorado apparently are like 34 miles apart from each other.
Denver and Aurora?
But she said that this house is, you'll never find it. I mean, maybe she's blowing out of smoke or something like that. But why would you tell an investigator she's got a safe house?
Well, yeah, I mean, why would you need one?
Yeah.
Yes. Unless you have a father that's a Freemason.
What's interesting too is all the because you mentioned how she got Chris to drink this drink, you know, he's kind of like doing what she says. Maybe she's got this spell going. I want to know the hold she has on that detective. It's so weird how the dad and her talk to the detective and how easily he gets distracted. It's really bizarre. Almost like, oh, you don't want me to go down that direction? Okay, I'll stop going down that direction. And then when he does do a little pushback, it was so bizarre during the interviews.
And the father pushes it. He's like, don't even, you're leading. I'm like, why is the father in this? He's a retired judge and police officer. He's retired. What, you shouldn't have your daddy in there with you.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre. And just the fact that she's an adult, he's in there. That's just the strange part. But I don't understand this hold in the text messages. They almost sound like they're friends when they're texting back and forth. And it's almost like, oh, you're not busy that day. Okay. Hey.
You shouldn't be texting an FBI agent in an investigation for murder.
Yeah. And he's not documenting it.
Well, and he's giving her all these hints, like he's sending her those links, like, so she knows what she's going to be questioned about. So it just doesn't, it does. None of that makes any sense whatsoever.
Like we have all these plugs, but we have no outlets to plug them into.
Yeah, exactly.
Or no direction that it's going. Like I want to organize all these wires, and I just, like I tell her sometimes, it's so much information in my head. I don't even know how to sort it through to make it sound, I don't know, like in a nice timeline type of thing.
No order.
I'm literally doing that now. I'm literally every single day when I find something, I'm trying to put it in this category, in this category. So eventually I'll make that into a video. Hopefully it makes people with our scatterbrains try to follow this chart, but the chart looks like,
yes, right now
it's hard to do start to finish, like from you know, obviously they're we don't even know when they actually met, so to do from start to finish is kind of hard. Clearly they didn't just meet a few months before they started dating. I think that's probably a given. We can.
And why would you murder somebody that you've only been with for technically 3 to 4 months?
That was my thing.
Yeah, that we questioned that before too.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
This one says that Chris Watts and Kessinger met in 2017 at a gym. Then they saw each other at a 4th of July 2017 fireworks, and Chris actually introduced Shannan and her girls to Kessinger before
I've never heard that one.
Even started working at Anadarko.
That was just a comment we got today, right?
We got a comment. No, that was 4 days ago. We got that comment, and it was from somebody who wrote it in Spanish. That's the one my husband had to translate. And so he translated it for me. And she mentions that he listened. That's the one I was talking about, that he actually said that in his 5-hour interview with the FBI agent. So I want to see that interview. That's what I've been slowly doing, instead of, like, you know how people show us the videos of like Chris Watts in the home. Well, I'm actually watching that video, not watching it from somewhere else, like trying to get a hold of that video and watching it. And then, this, I want to actually see the interrogation and sit through the 5 hours. Let me see if I hear and see the same things everybody else is seeing, because perception and understanding is very different from person to person.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. But it's crazy to think that with anybody else. And I watch these videos all the time. I watch YouTube videos on, when the kids realize they're getting arrested for murder, or when, right? Everybody's being questioned.
They're all locked up.
They're all interrogated at the same time.
Yes.
They maybe didn't hold the gun. They maybe didn't pull the trigger. They didn't, but they were standing in the corner and she's got 25 years to life.
Yes.
Why the heck does Nicole not have it when she's deleted all these messages? She's deleted evidence. She literally told Chris to do it and her best friend, and then sits there and says it's because I couldn't stand him. But why would you tell him and her to do it first, and then you did it right before you go into the interrogation?
Yeah. It's straight, and it's funny how they let it go. I don't understand how they're letting that go. It's obstruction of justice. It's whatever. Slap them with something. But I mean, I have people who've gone to jail just because they're, with that, what's that called? Where you're, oh my gosh, why is my brain? The gang enhancement. Just because you're affiliated with the gang, you are in jail because they committed a murder.
Exactly.
She has a history of criminal activity. She should be more than questioned. Like it's just ridiculous.
Well, and the evidence is there. I mean, it's not like there's a lack of evidence. It's all there.
Or for the defendant to be like, yeah, we looked at the stuff that you guys we looked at. We don't think it's needed because Chris confessed. Okay.
And why? That's what I understand. Why?
The buck doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
He confessed so quickly, so he had to have been hiding other things or protecting someone.
But there was a comment the other day. I was waiting for you guys because I wanted to bring it to you guys. So there's all the discrepancy out in the air that she had a child.
Yes.
Yes.
They're saying that this child was Chris's.
Yes.
That's why he's protecting her, is because this child is his.
Because he knew that she was pregnant when he went into that interrogation room.
And they didn't know if it was his, but they didn't want her to be in prison and to have this child in prison, and then for this baby to be either adopted, because you can't have a baby in prison. That's the theory. Is it 100%? We don't know because we can't find the woman.
Well, yeah, and that's my thing too, is like somebody had commented, where are all the people that know her? Like, where are her friends? Where are her acquaintances? Where are there's got to be somebody
they're gone,
would come forward that has either worked with her at some point, that went to school with her, that, I don't know, used to shop at the mall where she worked, like whatever the case may be. Like, there's got to be at least one or two people. Where are these people?
Nobody is affiliated with her.
Then that's crazy. Like,
they're gone.
She's gone. They're gone. Like, it does not make any sense.
What I also am not understanding is how her father is still working in Colorado in the same company with no repercussion, nothing. Like, nobody's asking him questions. Like, how is he still, like, he's not the father of Nicole Kessinger and everybody's asking these questions? Like, I don't get it. He's still with the same
whole
company.
thing is protected. Everything is protected. And going back to when they were questioning her, every time that they would like ask a question about the phone calls, or they would ask a question about anything, she would always like look to her dad and say, well, they can get that off my phone records, right? Like, that'll show you on my phone records, right? Like, why are you talking to him?
He's not a lawyer.
The person asking you the questions, like, she has to get his approval before she can even answer a question. And she's looking to him for like the okay.
Well, you never answered the question.
Oh, yeah, and they just let that slide.
Well, he didn't, but he would do the same thing because he would stop her. Like, even at one point, the one video I was watching that you showed, he was like, hold up, Nikki. Hold up.
He's like, stop.
Don't talk anymore.
Yeah. This is where you're going. Oh, stop. Because they mentioned the word murder. He didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Did you see the hand signals?
Yes, I did watch that video on the hand
signals.
So
I was actually looking into it, and somebody had wrote me. I have to keep their name anonymous. They have asked me to. They literally told me exactly what he said.
Stop.
From all these different things. And she's like, watch what you say on YouTube because you could be. And I'm like, I don't know what I should do to take this.
Yeah. What do you want me to do with this information? Yeah.
He's like, this woman says, take it with what you will and use it. And I still don't know how I'm going to present this.
I am going to, I work with deaf and hard of hearing babies.
Okay.
I want to take that to my teachers who are my deaf and hard of hearing teachers who sign. Because I did want to show them that. I just haven't had the time to do it. I want to show them that video and see if they can.
Because it's not just like random.
Because they can do, because sign is not only two. A lot of people, because you wonder how people can do it if sign with one hand or what, you can do it while driving. They have signs where they're doing it with one hand.
And he's doing it.
Yes. So okay.
Or when Shannan says, or when Nikki finally says Shannan's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She finally says it, but she goes, Shannan. What else would you do it for? Besides, or like, you just want to kind of like this. Why would you do that? I never even noticed until somebody pointed out. They're like, look at Shannan's hands. And I'm like, I got to start looking at people's hands and their mannerisms and
body language, everything.
Body language. That's what they're analyzing with that. You were mentioning something. Well,
that's what I was saying yesterday. Like, if you watch the videos with her, she's just, it almost like she has this whole attitude about it. Like, she can't be bothered. Like, you're wasting my time. Like, this is just like, can we just move this on? Like,
why are you asking me questions?
Do you not realize a whole family is dead? And you're like, you just can't be bothered. Like, I gotta go, or
things to do. Well, what's funny too is how the detective too is apologizing. Like, I'm sorry I have to bother you, but you have to come in again to record. Who does that to somebody who's a witness? Like, oh, I'm really sorry. A whole family was murdered, but I'm sorry to bother you and inconvenience you.
And then she goes, well, maybe I can come in on Thursday. No, I can't do that because I have a hair appointment. Can we do Friday? And they're like, yeah, no problem. Sure. Go ahead.
Like, you're scheduling a lunch date.
Yeah.
Is she the Queen of England that we don't know about? I mean,
I said the same thing. I talked to Gina about it. I said, is she related to someone who's, we're going to find out. She's like, and I was kind of joke, but like, like President Biden's goddaughter, like something.
Who is she?
Or like some high up in the CIA's, like kind of like True Lies type thing,
Well, at this point,
that's where the witchcraft comes into it. That's where the witchcraft comes into it. They said apparently that her father is also a warlock, which but it's like, so that's why they're not touchable, because they have all these incantations and spells that are keeping the eye off of them.
And it's funny because normally I'd be like, most people be like, oh, hogwash. I'm not trying to cuss, but when you look at it and you step back and you look at how they are literally untouchable.
They are.
What else can it be? Like,
but it's like, why?
Yeah, what else can it be?
Because if it was me or one of you ladies, we'd be screwed.
I'd be sitting in prison right now. I'd be in prison right now.
And no matter what, it's just, no matter what I read, what I see, what I watch, I always come back to that same question. Why? Why is she being so protected? And it's not just at this point. It goes back. This isn't like a new thing, her being protected. Like this goes back to her just getting DUI. Like this, she's always been protected. Who can stab somebody and just, well, and then in whoever it was,
Christ.
Well, right. When they were talking about the person, remember that letter that you wrote, that you read, and it was like explaining the situation, like when she had stabbed that person, but they
the text message,
but they couldn't remember when exactly it was. How do you not remember exactly when you got stabbed?
I did get that, and I got that off a video from the Behind Criminal Minds. He had mentioned in one of his videos that he actually was in communication with the people that this happened to. So like it was a personal text message sent to him. It wasn't something that he found on the internet. It was actually somebody who reached out to him and sent it to him.
Like, oh, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
How do you not remember?
Yeah. I'm like, how do you not remember? So like, I think to myself, like, has she reached out to them and threatened them? Like, you better not, you better not talk either.
There's either threats, there's either money, there's either promises that are going into this to protect her. I don't know what it is, but like you said, it's not just Chris Watts. She's been protected for years.
Yeah.
It's funny because just to bring up another case, there's a case that we were kind of talking about, the Ken and Barbie. And when the female murderess, she came back to her hometown, they were actually able to track her down. They took pictures of her in the city, pictures of her kids. She got remarried, even though she changed her name and everything. Eventually she was found. Like, they can find her. They found pictures of her. And like you said, why can't we find her? Why can't anybody see, like, hey, even when we were tracking down, we were talking about another case where, the girl used another passport to go to another country, but they end up finding these people, right? How do we not know if she left the country or not, even if she used this different name? How do we not know? And people are saying, oh, it's ridiculous that you guys are saying that she's in witness protection. We did get
that would be the only answer.
How that's ridiculous, witness protection. To me, that's the only way, because that's the only way where she is leaving fingerprints and it's not coming back as Nicole Kessinger anymore. It's coming back as somebody else. That's why we can't find her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep, that's the only answer.
If it wasn't anything higher up, and if she just went hiding, there'd be a way to find her. How are we not locating?
We have this technology and we can't find her.
Satellites. I mean, they
drones.
ATMs. I mean,
video. You can't go anywhere without being on a camera.
Oh, your whole life is recorded. You can't, you go into Target, you're on.
Yeah.
Grocery shopping, anywhere you go, even just driving down the street, people's ring cams catch you. Like,
and she was so interested in Amber Fry and how much money she makes and all this stuff.
She wanted to make some money.
Yeah, the route she was planning on taking, she obviously hasn't taken it, because she's not writing a book. She's not coming out. She actually went the complete opposite, where we can't even find out anything about her at all. Who pulled her and said, no.
Yeah.
But why are you hiding if you're not guilty?
If nothing's wrong. Thank you.
And
why would you go into hiding?
Where are you living?
Yeah.
How are you eating? How are you surviving?
Because eventually what would happen, like, say, like us and the people out there who are bringing this case back into the forefront and are talking about it, somebody somewhere is going to have to do something, right? And track her down and find her. But if you go into such a deep hiding, she's had years to like really change her whole entire look, her everything about her, and really hide, unless she's dead. Possibility. But for her to go into complete hiding, because maybe they don't know how long they are protected for.
See, I thought she was possibly dead, like you said. Like somebody got to her, they took her out. But then they, like, what was it, not even a year ago, all his communication was shut off because they found out that Nicole was actually talking to Chris in a different name and a different language, or not different language, but different dialect. And they went back to her IP address. Her IP address actually matched a Nicole, but Nicole is spelled Nichole, not OL. So she rechanged her Nicole into something completely, not even just, she added one letter.
Yeah. But she was born with a different spelling, Nichole. So the way we have it is not even the way she had it before.
She keeps going back and forth to different ways of spelling it.
Nicole.
And then there's a doppelganger out there too that looks exactly like her.
I have not seen that.
Is that the one that went to the memorial?
So that's another thing. I put on there, I had to make sure that I stated that, is this possibly her? ? Because I can't say that, or I can't for say that it is completely her. But the build I'm looking at, and the hair, and the way that she was holding, like her hands and stuff like that, I mean, we're trained in a certain way in the military to identify it, to make sure we get the right person, the right target. And I'm kind of looking at this, and I'm staring at the two images. I'm like, this has got to be her, and so forth like that. But they said that this woman, some people say it's her, and some people say it's not. But for the audacity for her to possibly show up there to make it look like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so guilty for taking or causing this. She just wanted to not make her name so tainted.
Right.
She wanted to unravel this bad look for her, or she tried, it didn't work.
No, I don't think there's anything at this point that that woman could do that is going to make people be on her side. But again, if you go down the Reddit rabbit hole, there are a lot of people that think that, and that's another thing that I did want to get into. So yesterday we kind of touched on, because we had a few comments about people saying how evil Shannan was, what an evil person she was, that she was horrible to the children, she was horrible to Chris, that she had a horrible spending habit, she spent all their money, on and on and on. And somebody had brought up Munchausen, that she suffered from Munchausen and Munchausen by proxy. That was the first that I had ever heard of that. But that would, to me, that would mean, was this person alluding to maybe that she was faking the fact that she had lupus? Because somebody had also commented, no, she didn't have lupus. No, she didn't have a problem conceiving. No, she didn't have a problem carrying the children. And if you watch her Facebook videos and all of her social media posts, she's always saying, like, I'm so grateful that that I was able to get pregnant because of lupus and this and that. So to me, when you bring Munchausen into it, is that something that you're saying that she was faking this whole time? And like by proxy would mean that she's trying to gain attention by hurting her children. And I'm not sure.
But from all the videos that I've watched, I've never seen her be nasty to those girls.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a different facade when you're in camera, obviously. Yeah. But just the way, I mean, yeah, okay, who doesn't? The way that, apparently, to go into it, apparently Shannan was worth $1 million through the company that she was working with, that I looked into. Obviously, they had half their house paid off already. It was worth $600,000. She had paid $385,000 off before she passed on. Yes, they did go into bankruptcy. She did have a spending limit. What lady doesn't? I mean, there's Target. Obviously, people spend everywhere. My fiance does it as well. But
my husband can describe the same thing about me, but I hope he doesn't kill me over it.
What lady does not spend a lot of money? I mean, for your 9 women that spend a lot of money, one is going to be frugal. She wanted to have what she worked hard for. And for them to sit there and after she died, they're like, well, this looks like she was a narcissist. This looks like she was nasty towards Chris. I mean, what couple doesn't go and pick on each other lovingly? I mean, but she was sitting there saying something to Cindy about, oh, she talked about him being a skater boy. Okay. She talked about him being so quiet. Okay. She's outspoken. She's boisterous. Yeah. She's a very independent woman. She's not secluding herself. She was a woman that saw what she wanted and she was going to do what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you a narcissist.
Yeah. Yeah. But and then you can look at it on the flip side with Chris. Chris, when they met, I mean, he wasn't thin. He was overweight. He wasn't the best looking guy, but she still fell in love with him. Like, she was in love with him regardless. She loved his personality. She loved obviously she married him and had kids with them, and she raved about him on, Facebook and everything like that. But and then he goes and loses all this weight, and all of a sudden he's having these affairs and feeling good about himself so we can turn it really quick too. I mean, you can make anybody look a way you want them to look. I mean, sometimes the way I talk to my husband probably isn't the best way you should be talking to your spouse. And if somebody overheard just that small little 30 seconds, a minute of my argument with my husband, I can be portrayed as that. But then on the, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know the whole thing about it. But
that's what's going to sell. The 30 seconds of you being nasty to your husband is going to sell compared to you loving your husband.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why they're using that towards bad mouthing Shannan.
Yeah. I did see the video. I was watching the video really closely today of when he went into the neighbor's house, and the neighbor did mention something. I had to stop it because I was at work today. I work Starbucks on the weekends. And so my break was done, but, so I didn't finish watching it, but there was a piece in there, cause I've only seen certain, like, just the clips they show you with them holding his head and, watching the video, but there's a point in there, and I'm sure a lot of people who've watched the whole video has seen it, where the neighbor's actually talking about a huge argument that he would hear them having, and how both of them would be yelling at each other. Like, he goes, I heard them yelling like really loud, that there was a really super loud argument that they had. But I wanted to go back and see exactly when he was saying what day it happened. So I don't know if you know any more about that than I do. What did it happen that day? Did it happen the day before she left? When she got back?
I know they said before, when she came back from her 5 weeks of being down with her family in South Carolina, she came back, and that's when they kind of had a big, huge fight. So it could have been that. But even that next door neighbor, Betty, she lived on the opposite side of Nicole or Shannan and Chris, and she said she never even heard him. She was outside a lot doing her gardening and stuff like, and she never even heard him.
What about, what I want to touch on a video that I saw that you showed today too. Well, I don't know if it's today, but I was watching it today. With the one with the neighbor that was talking about the car, because I know I touched on that too, because I was hearing people talk about it, but this is actually a neighbor who actually saw her car there the day of.
That was Betty.
That's Betty, right? Yeah.
So she said she saw the truck before the murders, and then she saw the truck there after the murders. So when the police were interrogating and stuff like that, they saw the truck. They saw the truck the morning of, because if you watch that video that the next door neighbor had, Nate, you see a car leave Betty's driveway, which is either her going to the gym or her husband going to work. So that truck left, and then that's when we see Chris grab his truck that's out in the street and pull up into his driveway. But then some other car comes up behind the tree. You can't see it. You see the lights, but you don't see the car. And then people are saying it's a red truck, that apparently Nicole had 3 different cars. She had one when she went to the sand dunes with Chris. She didn't want her car being seen. She had apparently a red truck. She had the work truck that was a silver Dodge something, which had a topper on it. They said that was the truck that showed up the morning before, or the day before, because Shannan was gone. So he had his girls. And then the morning of, and then the morning after the police had left, that truck came back. So she said, she's like, that truck has been around here for the past few days quite a lot.
And the neighbors are like, what's going on? They give this information. What did the police do with this information?
They sat on it and put it away, it sounds like.
Yeah.
They didn't even do anything with it. It just, and like you said earlier, the DA who just comes out and is like, well, Chris confessed, so therefore we don't need to look into anybody else. What DA does it? Like, where's this DA now? I'm like, actually probably should look. What is
right?
Like, is he still there? Like, it's,
or need to move on, because we have so many questions we'd like to ask him.
Yeah,
I was not being questioned. And why is not, okay, there's a lot of holes in this. Why is not another organization like the FBI coming in and saying, oh, you know what, we're going to take over. Like, this is something that we need to handle, or, I don't know. Like,
one second, ladies. Had somebody at the front door.
No, please.
Okay. My phone rang and I lost the video. So I don't know where, am I still on video?
Yeah, it's still recording.
Because I don't know how to get back to my, like, where I can see you guys.
Oh, you can't see us? Oh, it's down at the bottom. You don't have the Zoom app? If you look at the bottom, click on it.
Well, no, what do you mean?
The app
like,
at the bottom?
No, it's like the whole thing went away because Jasmine called me and
I know, but to get it back, you just have to hit the app again.
I'm on the app, but it's like the home page, like where it says schedule, join, host.
Oh, go up. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's a mess. I work off a PC, like PC at work. So I'd be like, do, control alt tab, whatever, to get all the screens up. I don't know how to do that on a Mac, like where you can see all your open pages.
I'm not very good with Macs. I did
No,
them
I
in
know how
college.
to
I
do
just
that,
couldn't do them.
You can bring up if you know how to bring up all the windows, bring up all the windows.
Yeah, I did, and it's not there.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, but we still see you. It's still
Okay.
recording. She can't see us.
Yeah, I can't
Oh.
see you guys, and I don't know how to get that back.
Whoopsie.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
I had a question though about you were on one of your videos, you were talking about I don't know who it was. It might have been that 10 to Life girl that was showing the video, and they were talking about him not bringing the bodies out, that you think that they went out the back instead of out the front.
Yep.
I was trying so hard to watch because in that video, she kind of slows it down and like puts it in slow motion. And then the whole thing, like, and she's talking about like the jerking motion, like he would be picking up the body. I couldn't see that.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, I was really trying to see that, but
you can see the jerking motion when he picks up his daughter, because you see a little girl's shadow coming from the back, and then you see the jerk where he picks her up and stuff like that. But you don't see that. You don't see him carrying something out, because you see a stick figure shadow. You don't see him like a T pose, like he's carrying his murder wife out. So the weird thing is the sheet was upstairs, obviously. I mean, there's discrepancy up in the air that she was either murdered upstairs or downstairs, because he had his separate bed down in the basement. And that's where there's another theory that apparently Shannan came home too early and Nicole was still there, and she caught Nicole and Chris downstairs in the bed. So then he murdered her there, went and got the sheet, and then they took her out the window in the back because the camera was removed from the back.
Right.
But why would you remove a camera
when remove that? Yeah.
When everything is uploaded to the cloud?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
So it's like, okay, what's going on with that? Mm-hmm. And apparently there was neighbors that said that they saw a truck in the back. And it's like we're getting the tip of we're getting the whole iceberg, but that top of the tip of the iceberg is still not there.
So I have another question. What about all the other neighbors? Like, do they have ring cams, or is there any other footage besides Betty and?
They have to have had.
Yeah,
something.
I mean, where's all that other? Because I mean, if somebody else is like even 2 doors down could have caught her driving down the street by. Or anything. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, the ring camera that's on the front of the house. Why is nobody
coming forward?
Well, I don't even think nobody's coming forward. I think they sat on it too long, because I know our ring camera only holds it for so long. If you don't have the subscription, you don't go back, you don't get it, right? So they only hold it for so long. So I think they botched the investigation hard. They looked at one person only. He confessed. They weren't going to look any further. I believe that we could have had a whole, from the town or wherever, and her whole movement, because we've seen videos of cars where they've tracked them. Here they are in front of the 76 station. Here they are in front of Target. Here they are driving. There you see them passing this intersection. You see them, and their whole route to the house. They could have had her whole route to the house.
They literally GPS'd his phone. Yes. They saw him go from his house to his truck to the Survey 19, but they never saw his phone go over by the tanks. So how the heck did his daughters get in the tanks?
Yeah, Nicole.
Nicole is the one that put him up there, and then they found puke.
Yeah, they found vomit.
Whose puke was it?
Why did they not test it? They didn't test the for DNA?
Was it his? Was it Nicole's? Was it the girls because they were killed at Survey 19? Who dug the hole for Shannan?
Yeah.
She was 2 feet down.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that he dug that whole hole by himself.
No.
But that's why it's just things are not. But and then two, they said that Anadarko has 400 cameras. Yeah. 89 of them are at Anadarko, but then there's 5 at each site.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that footage?
Yeah. There's all the cameras. I know. No, you get poor DNA samples from puke.
Oh.
I was trying to see, like,
but I know you can find out from puke, you can find out the gender.
There you go.
You can find the XY or the XX chromosome. So you could have told
you if it was male or female.
Male or female,
you just found it out. So that's what's really interesting about that part. And then the whole thing with him possibly, what I posted yesterday about the gas cans. They're like, why is he doing gas cans? Well, I looked at Survey 319. There's no generators out there. So why would he need gas? Well, he doesn't need diesel because his truck is diesel. But why is he getting gas? Well, apparently he was going to make it look like an accident or possibly burn them or blow it up to completely destroy all the evidence. But because thank God for Nicole Atkinson, she disrupted that plan. And they're like, well, we can't find your wife. You got to come back. He's freaking out. And he's like, because why did it take him? What they say? It was supposed to only take 45 minutes from Survey 319 to get to his house. He took an hour and 15.
Yeah.
So what was he doing in that 30 minutes?
And then I think I also heard, I think it
was
going
over the story with Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have been on Dr. Phil, when they were saying that when they removed the girls' bodies from the tanks, that they had the way that they had to transport them because of them being in that tank, that they were afraid that they were going to combust.
Yep.
And so that clearly falls in line with his plan, because if those things would have went up, they would never have found any remains whatsoever of anything.
Because oil is highly flammable.
Yeah. So
gas, all you would have had to need was to put a little bit of gas on it, light it, and there it goes.
That's it.
Oh, it was an accident. Oh, I can't find my daughters. Where are they? I mean,
she took them. She ran off with them.
I wonder though, if he was going to try to go back to blow it up. Like, I wonder if there was a way, or he was processing still how he could still carry out his plan, because he stuck to the story where she took the girls. They probably just took off. I don't know where they went, because if he would have had the chance to go back there and eliminated the evidence, he could have just stuck to the story that she ran off with the girls and she doesn't know.
But that's the interesting thing is when they first asked him to come back, he didn't seem like he was in a hurry. He just came up nonchalant, was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you guys or whatever. When he went inside the house, it took him 2.5 minutes to get to the front door. And then when he opened up the front door for everybody to come inside, he went straight to the basement.
Oh.
So when all the cops were like, oh, can we look around? Nicole Atkinson, she went upstairs right away. Mm-hmm. But she didn't find a ring that Chris found. But Chris, you can see on the body cam when the police officers went inside the kitchen area, he goes straight to the basement. Why would you go straight to the basement? Wouldn't you want to sit there and talk to the police officers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see that's when Nicole is like, oh my God, her purse is here. Like, she's finding all the stuff that's there.
Her medicine here. Her shoes were here. Yeah. Her phone was there. I mean, he didn't have a chance to throw all that away.
Yeah. And if he really didn't think anything happened, like, oh, she just left. I mean, if somebody came to my house with cops, said, hey, you have to get back over here because we need to get inside your house, I'd be asking questions like, what's going on? What are you guys doing here? What, like, if Gina called somebody to come to Gina, what are you doing? Like, what's happening? Well, I'm concerned about your husband, Well,
How about the fact that
I would be asking questions if I really just thought my wife took off. Like, me and him fought, he took off, whatever, he's at his mom's
He
house.
said nothing. He was on his phone.
yeah.
He knew exactly where they were.
But the fact that her car was there, he claimed that she took off with the kids, but the car seats were in the car.
No phone, no purse. A woman's going to take her purse because she's going to want to buy something.
Yeah. I mean, you just,
she's a tender. We heard that earlier.
yeah. But I mean, to leave your phone, your shoes, your everything, like he
didn't have a chance to throw it away.
Yeah.
He was gonna dispose of that when he came back from work, but because Nicole was like, where is she?
She was on it.
It fooled her. I honestly think to this day too, if it wasn't for Nicole Atkinson, he probably would have got away with this.
Absolutely.
Probably so.
He had a really good chance. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And have we heard anything from her?
We haven't heard much of anything. I know she did say after the whole murder thing and stuff like that, she didn't want to do any stories. She didn't want to relive her best friend's death and sort of like that. So she did say she wanted to just not put it underneath the rug, but she just wanted to remember the happy times with Nicole, or not Nicole, Shannan. So, which is understandable. Yeah, but again, why are we not going to the police house or Wisconsin? I mean, he's only 4 hours away from me. So it's like, why are we not going back there and asking all these questions with a lie detector again? Why are we not asking?
Why have you been able to drive down there? Like,
no, but I Googled where his prison is. It's only 4 hours away from me. So I mean, it's driving distance, but they do say that you can talk to prisoners.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I have the balls enough to go down and talk over there to Chris Watts? I'm like, I don't know if I want to or either kind of thing, but
I would love to interview the guy.
Oh, Gina would.
It's like there's so many questions that are going unanswered, and it's like, why didn't that? The other thing I was going to hit on too is, why was Nicole not interviewed by a woman? Chris was interviewed by that woman Tammy. If that girl Tammy would have been on Nicole like she was with Chris, whole different outcome, I do believe.
Well, why wasn't she though? They asked that question. Why wasn't she the one who interviewed the both of them? Yeah, she was getting the story over here, because most detectives, I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to go over here. What they feed me over here, I'm going to take it over here, and we're going to talk. See how their stories are.
They had so many detectives on this case. It's like, usually when you like watch First 48, they have two detectives. Yeah, and they talk to each other. This goes this person. This person goes to this one, and then they switch, and then they go talk to these two people. But there was like 6 detectives on this case.
It's crazy how, I don't know. I think it was maybe done on purpose, because then it's like that one where, look over here, look over there, kind of, you don't know look, you don't know what to pay attention to. And
I think because her dad has so much pull and so much power over all of this, I don't know how or why, but I think he's calling the shots on a lot of this that maybe we aren't, like, a lot of people aren't even aware of. He to be as protected as they are, he has to have some kind of power to be able to call shots like that.
And that's where the whole witchcraft comes into this, that they're mind or Jedi mind tricks. I mean, they're doing something to this extent, that why are they protected? Why are they so innocent? Why are they not looking into it? And then there's people that are like, well, it's a closed case. We're not going to reopen it. Well, Tupac's killer was closed, and they're like, well, we don't know where he is. We don't know who it is. They just got him 30 years later. I mean, things can be open. Well, it did go to trial. He said it. He killed them. It's done. It's over with. Get over yourself. But the reason why I think it's so like into everybody's brains and so people are obsessed with it is because we don't have the answers we want.
Yeah. And there's so much evidence. Like, there is so much evidence out there, and people have torn this whole thing apart and done a very good job doing it. And then, like, people say, oh, you have to be careful what you say and where you say it. but why?
Why do I have to watch what I say?
Why?
Did you get any messages regarding that? We got one where it's like,
oh yeah,
you're gonna get your channel pulled down because you're mentioning Nicole's name. I'm like, why?
I put a disclaimer in there for all my copyright that all images, all videos are that are used as free will. They're not copyrighted. I'm not saying for my viewers to go after her. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that we need to reopen this case. It needs to go through the whole judgment system where the justice system needs to reevaluate this. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm not telling my viewers to go do it. I'm saying we need to reopen this so that maybe one day, maybe Colorado and Frederick, Colorado, or Aurora or Denver, that they were like, you know what? These YouTubers, not me, the hundreds of people that are doing it, it's not, they make it seem like I'm the only one doing it, or you guys are the only one doing it. There's hundreds of channels. If you type in Chris Watts as a little tag, there's 705 channels that look into Chris Watts and the murders of this.
And probably just
not the only ones.
Or like whatever, it's just crazy. Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're gonna have your stuff coming to you. What's coming to me? I'm like, I'm just having my opinion. You have your opinion, or they make it seem like somebody's gonna come after you. You know what? Come after me. I mean, everything is going bad in Southwest in this world anyway. So I mean, come to my house and shut me up, okay? But
I asked you, I told Gina that I said, yeah, who are these people? They must be people connected to Nicole, because who else would care that much? Like, doesn't everybody want to know the truth, regardless if you agree with us or not? You want to know the truth, right?
Yeah, I want to know it. And I honestly, I'm scared to know that we might not ever get the answers.
Yeah. Yeah. And
because we don't know where she is.
Yeah. And I think another reason why people are so passionate about this case is because it involves kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that
I'm so passionate because I'm a father. I have a spouse. I have 2 girls and I have 1 boy. Yeah, they're not the small size that they are. But for me to be the father, I am the hero. I'm the protector. I'm the friend. I'm supposed to be there for my kids to make sure that they are never harmed. And for me, it disrupted my mentality of a man that's supposed to be there. And his daughters, my daddy is a hero. I mean, these girls looked up to him, and he technically took their lives, or he took the mother away from them, all because he was thinking with the wrong head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why did he think that murder was a choice? Divorce. Obviously, I went through a divorce. I didn't want to. I divorced my wife because she infidelity. I didn't think about murdering her.
Yeah. That's I don't understand. Like, it blows my mind, because I'm like, if you're not happy and for any reason, just leave. Why would you think of going to this extent? And like, these kids, like, how are you a parent? And regardless if he did it or she did it or they both did it or whatever the case may be, how do you allow this to happen? How, like, I just don't, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
The motive is not, it's there because he wanted to be with Nicole. He wanted to start anew. But again, like we've said, divorce, separate, leave. I mean, he didn't want to pay child support. Not every time. Yes. Okay. Unfortunately, the men have to pay child support more than the women. But like in my case, I don't pay child support. I have 50-50 custody for my son, but I fought very hard for it. You can fight hard for it too. He just automatically assumed that he was going to pay child support. He was never going to see his girls again. Well, let's just murder my family because that seems like the better outcome. You're never going to see your girls. And now apparently they say that in his jail cell, he's got pictures of Shannan and the girls.
Yeah.
The audacity.
He has pictures of Shannan. I thought he only had pictures of the girls.
No, Shannan.
He's got his jail cellmate says he's got pictures of all of them.
Wow.
And he's found God. And
how has he not been killed in jail?
He's actually in solitary confinement. He's not in the general population. I did
Why
look
are
into
these
that.
people not in general population? I don't understand.
He's protected in prison.
Yeah. Well, and how much money do we as taxpayers have to pay for that protection? We're literally paying for him to have a protected life.
Because he's going to school again.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he's probably going to get a degree.
He's going to school again. He's found God. It's like, why didn't you find God before? Why didn't you go and get a different education? And it's like, why is he being protected in prison when I don't know about you guys, but I'm pro death penalty. If you act a crime, or even for the instance of taking a child's life and you're an adult, you deserve that death penalty. You should not be here anymore.
I go back and forth, and Shannon and I have had this conversation multiple times with different cases that we've talked about. But to me, I go back and forth because I feel like in a way that's the easy way out. And True. I guess I wonder, like, what does your day-to-day life look like in prison? Because if you're getting served 3 meals a day and you get to exercise, you get an education, you get to work, you get to earn money, you're probably living a better life than we are.
You're living a better life than some people out here are who are free.
Yeah. So that's my question.
Like, so
what does your life look like in prison?
We have people out here because we work in education, Gina and I, where kids are not getting 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
The families are fighting to feed their kids and their families.
And these prisoners get 3 square meals a day.
3 square meals. They get fed better. And the people that are out here struggling are paying for that through their taxes, but they can't even get a decent meal on their table.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense.
And that's the thing is they send in an article, somebody's putting monies on his books.
Yeah.
There are women that love this man.
He's are wanting more money out in there than he was out here.
Oh yeah,
literally there's a redhead that wants to marry him.
I was gonna say somebody who married Richard Ramirez in prison. I mean, it doesn't get worse than that.
And that's why I'm like, why are we not using the death penalty for me when it comes to anything children? When it's predators, if you touch a child, if you kill a child, for me that's an instant death penalty because you should not be here and using our resources and so forth like that. But again, I do believe too that we should not be taking lives. So I mean, death penalty is bad, but
it's at the very minimum. Why is he even allowed to get letters in prison from people who are not lawyers? Maybe like lawyer communication, maybe family, mom, dad. But why are they allowing fan mail to get to these prisoners? That's essentially what it is. Fan mail.
When we talked, we had a guest on our podcast a couple months ago who served time at Corcoran State Prison, which is where Charles Manson was. Ooh. And he said that Manson used to get so much mail that it held up all of their mail. So they couldn't get correspondence from their family because of all the fan mail that this guy was getting. He had his own yard. He had his own everything. He was completely segregated and he was protected, and he had stuff that none of these other people had. And I'm sure the crimes he committed were 1,000 times worse than these people, that were in there. And I can't wrap.
It's almost like they're living better lives too, to be honest.
They are. And I just can't
wrap. No worries. What worries do they have? They wake up, they're fed, they're exercised, they're going to school, they don't have to pay anything, they don't pay taxes. And then they get these fan letters, which I think fan mail, trash. Not a family member, not
you
should not get fan mail as a murderer.
No, they have computers. They get to email. They get to talk on the phone. There's so many students that we have at school that can't even afford a computer. You know, they can't afford education. They can't afford anything. And these people are just sitting there having it all handed to them, and we're paying for it.
And he keeps every single year, he puts in, what's that called? When he puts his file papers together so he can try to get out.
Parole?
Not parole, but he's trying to get out. And it keeps getting denied. But he tries this every single year where he's trying to get out. He's like, I found God. I'm a different person now. Well, one, you've only been there for 5 years. what's going to change. 2, it's like you've been talking with this so-called person that his name was like David Caesar Cass something, whatever, but it was actually Nicole. Yeah. And they're trying to figure out where they're going because apparently they're trying to make it sound like they're going to go somewhere where there's no extradition. So when he does leave, they can't get him anymore.
They can't get him back.
It's like keep him in there, lock him up, and throw away that dang key.
Yeah, it needs to be just a done deal. He can't. Yeah, you can't.
He has to pay for the crime he committed. It's not necessarily, oh, I'm a changed person, I'm a good person now. No, the only thing that's changed is that you don't have that person that angered you enough to murder them. Like that person's gone. It's eliminated from the equation. Your whole family's gone. Of course, when you come out, you have no one to murder. We're not concerned that you're going to come out and murder people because you weren't like a serial killer, right?
Yeah.
We're not concerned he's going to come out and start murdering just random people.
But you don't get to enjoy your life anymore.
Yeah. But why would you're not in jail because you're trying to be a better person? You're going to come out and you be this great person. You're in jail because you need to pay for the crime that you committed and you need to spend time in there your whole entire life because they don't have theirs.
Yeah.
Or I can't see my family.
Then maybe, right?
Or he mentioned something about he didn't get to see his family for almost 1.5 years after the case. I'm like, Shannan's family doesn't get to see them ever again.
Yeah. Those kids, nobody gets to see those kids anymore.
Yeah.
And for Cindy Watts to sit there and blame it on Shannan and sit there and say, oh, I didn't get to see my son. Shannan's parents don't get to ever see them again. They had to bury them in closed caskets because they were possibly going to explode because of them, because they had to be apparently put in special caskets, which was, and then Cindy Watts was like, I don't get to see my son.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I look at some of the videos on like, you know, how Shannan didn't really get along with her mother-in-law and how, you know, her mother-in-law disregarded some of the important things she would tell her, don't feed him peanuts, whatever, you know, the thing was. I look at videos of her and I think I wouldn't want you near my grandkids either if you were my mother-in-law. Like, honestly, you have no respect for her you had no respect for her as a mother.
Yeah.
As your daughter-in-law, as a mother of your grandchildren, you did not like her to begin with. So I don't know.
It seemed like she tolerated her grandkids.
Yeah.
She showed like this facade that she cared about her grandkids. But if you knew that your grandkid had a peanut allergy, I guarantee you would not give them peanut ice cream.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I always wonder,
my son would beg to differ when I eat Reese's. He's got a really bad peanut allergy and I see Reese's Pieces in my mouth. But he came on as an adult, so I have to remember the fact that he has it. But but it's funny, but
yeah.
I always wonder, because they have access to so much in prison, I always wonder if he's in prison watching all of this.
I hope he does. I hope he watches this and just like, this son of a bee. I'm like, go ahead. I would love for you to see my videos.
Yeah, I just wonder, especially now that, all this stuff is kind of like been brought up and everything. I just wonder, is that where he spends like his
if
time?
They have access to YouTube or something?
I mean, yeah, like imagine seeing your video. Chris Watts viewed your YouTube. Like I wonder, like, is he looking himself up in there and watching these videos? Or I don't know.
If I was in prison and I did what he did, of course I would want to be looking up who's talking about me.
Yeah. What his thought is on all this. What he thinks about how far.
In the comments, please, Chris.
Comment
Hashtag.
below.
Comment below.
Hashtag this is me.
Oh my gosh, imagine how many we're gonna get now. Just saying.
We're gonna get hashtag this is me, and we're not gonna know who it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I'm so excited that we did this, that you when you reached out, I screamed. I just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, so Shannan was at work and I texted her because a bunch of people were commenting that you had sent them to our channel. And so at first I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is. And then, so the more people, and I was like, okay, I need to see what this is. So then I went and I watched the video and I was like, oh my, wait, that's us. And so I knew Shannon was working. And so I text her, and then she didn't text me back. So then I called her and she was like, I'm at work. I'm like, I know, but like, you need to go in the bathroom or something. Like, you need to take a little break. Like, you need to check this video out. I just sent you this video. Watch this video. And I sent it to all kinds of people, and everybody responded the same thing. Who's Nicole? I'm like, don't worry about who Nicole is. Don't worry about who Zowoki is. Play the video.
I literally was like, you know what? I saw them that you guys were like at 634. I'm like, I know I have a bigger following. And I'm like, you know what? I have enough people. Go to subscribe to them and get them to 1,000K so they can get monetized.
Yes. Oh my God.
We really appreciate it. But so I like, only because I was already following you. I
know who that
is. Oh, so you subscribed to me not knowing that you were talking about me, that I would respond.
No, I subscribed to, I watched you before on other things because I was telling her I'm a big fan of Slapped Ham too.
Oh,
and
me too. Yeah.
Yes. And so I really like Slapped Ham. And so I watched that. And so it kind of, I think it led me to you, and somehow you came up on my side. And so I was already subscribed to you under my personal YouTube channel. So so it's funny how it's, so when she sent it to me, I'm like, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Okay. You know, like I watched him. Yeah, that's the one I got the video from, whatever. But then when I watched it, and I'm like, shut up.
And then when I watched your video, you were talking about some guy that was bringing in a video. I'm like, there's not a lot of guys that are talking about this case. I'm like, I wonder if she's talking about me.
I can't say your name, and I don't remember names. To be honest with you, I don't remember names. I know faces and stuff, but I don't remember names. So sometimes when I'm talking, you'll see me a lot going, I can't remember. But yeah. So I was like really super excited. But when I saw your face, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, that God is my. And then when she says, no, you need to watch it, that's when I called her and I said, oh my gosh, Gina, I used part of his video. He had it. I zoomed it in on it. I go, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Does he say anything bad? Because I feel so bad that I didn't comment. I didn't know his name.
And speaking of being talked about bad, I have like 3 channels that are talking bad about me.
What? Somebody had made a comment saying like, all he does is steals people's information and reposts it. And I was like, well, I don't think so, because that's not what he did with us. Like, he replayed our whole entire video. He sent people to our channel. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's what's happening.
I watched the content. I say in the beginning that I am not taking credit for this video. Yeah. I'm reacting to it. I'm using my reaction and what I'm seeing to promote their channel. I literally say, go subscribe to them, watch their old videos, watch their new videos, give them love for bringing this video to me. And I'm like, I'm not copywriting any video. And that's probably why I got I didn't get a DM strike, but I got a notification that somebody was using your content. And I was like, who's using my content? I was like, because I get this occasionally that people are like those people that are being kind of bad about my channel. There's a woman, I can't remember what, she's 56 years old, but she downgrades me a lot. But and I wrote in her comments, I'm like, I'm glad that you enjoyed the video, but I got a notification that somebody was using my content as their content. But I watched it, and that's what brought me to you guys too, is because it said that you guys were using my video in there.
Our copyright strike, that because she goes, we got a copyright strike, because I had put because I used because you had the video and I wanted to zoom in. I actually was sending it to her as I was watching your video. I kept sending her screenshots. You need to see this, what he's seeing on this video camera. You need to do this. And so, yeah, I did. And so I took a little portion of it and I put it in there. But
that's the thing, is
use it as I just kind of like use the pitch, like, but
it gives me the option to either claim it or deny it, which I denied it because I'm like, It's fair game. You use it, whatever. So I denied it. So I don't know who said it was copywriting.
Oh,
so,
I don't know if we got a copyright strike, but maybe we got the copyright strike on the exorcism one then?
Yeah, it wasn't on his video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was on.
Is that a copyright claim or a copyright strike?
It's the claim. Yeah, it's not the one where, yeah.
Okay, so the claims are the ones that won't hurt your channel.
Yeah.
But you can't monetize it, but then you have to mute it and stuff like that. But yeah. I've gotten one strike because of an old video I posted about trying not to laugh. There was a child in there that apparently got hurt, but it was a funny one where she fell downstairs. So I had to remove the video because obviously I didn't want that on there, but unfortunately I got that strike because a kid was falling down the stairs. So
yeah, I'm still trying to learn how this whole thing works. You know, like we said, we're new at this. And so, but I tell people that when I edit the videos, I like us to look like Dateline. So I
tell the difference between when I do it and she does it.
I always put like music at the bottom. I always do videos like when I'm talking about certain things. I want to show what I'm talking about or what I found. And so I think with mine, I get a lot of copyright claims because I try to use like, oh, I saw this video, but I try to give people credit in the
description.
And that's what I told Gina. I said, oh my gosh, I forgot to totally give him credit in the description because I did use that piece. I said, maybe we should go back and write it in there and stuff. So that's why I wanted to say it on our next video. Like, this is where I got it from. This is who I watch. You need to go and watch them because of that. But yeah, but we're still learning. There's a lot.
I'm still learning. I've been doing this for 4 years and I'm still learning. So
what's good, what's not good.
You have I like your background too. Like, is that?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
This is my game room man cave. This is only a smidge of it. It's about 20 feet. If I brought it this way.
Oh my gosh. Your fans are going to be so excited to see this part.
Right?
You can't see past here because this is where my Xbox is, but it's literally filled full of Funko Pops. I have a large collection. I mean, I originally was going to start just doing toys and action figures.
Did you have you made your own yet?
I did. I just did today. I sent it out. So mine's coming, but I did buy my own today on Funko.com. So
no, we went to the store in Boulevard.
I would wish I could do that, but I ordered it online. So but that's what I originally was gonna do was all Funko Pops. And then I was like, you know what? I really like the Paranormal. I was like, maybe I should just do some reaction videos because I've seen that people do reactions. So then I started getting into that. And then people started saying, you know what? I would love for you to do some crime videos. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do some crime videos. My favorite one, which I am obsessed with, is Chris Watts. So I did that one. And
that's what did it.
Yeah.
It just, because I was sitting at 16,000 for the longest time. And it just took forever. And now even 2 months ago, I think it was, I posted 1 or 2 things about Chris Watts, about Nicole's involvement and the ghosts. And
took off.
I got to look into that ghost thing though.
Yeah.
It's very creepy because you can see certain things like in the kitchen. To go back to Chris or the case is the refrigerator opens by itself. They see somebody sitting at the table because the police officer keeps looking. He's like, he's like, what is that white mass in the chair? And then the police officer behind him was like, what are you looking at? He's like, I think I see something, but I can't make it out. And then the people come downstairs and then it kind of dissipates.
Oh,
but
wow.
The big thing is the EVPs. Like you can't make that stuff up on a body cam, and police are not going to doctor it. I mean, that's pretty much, there's got to be some type of legal or law that you can't doctor body cam footage unless it's been released and then some other YouTuber takes it and then doctors it.
Right.
But it was not doctored and it was released. And then people are like, there's people talking on these body cams, and then people start slowing them down and you can start hearing them when they go out to the garage, when they go upstairs, when they go in the closet where Shannan's stuff, all her shoes were, and so forth. So I've wanted to get back more into the paranormal side of this case, because they say they've seen her face in the glass window up in her room. They saw, and then Franco TV, I don't know if you've ever watched him. He went there stating that he was only there for condolences, but he bought his thermal camera. So I thought that was kind of awkward. So then he was putting a thermal camera on the house, but then you see two silhouettes in the window. And they kept moving, and you see a bigger one and a smaller one, and the bigger one bends down and picks up the little one.
Does somebody live in that house now?
Now there is. It's a new family. Ironically, it's the same genders as what's before. They have two daughters and a son. It's a wife and husband, but they repainted it so it's completely white with black trim. You can even see pictures of it now. People have come to them, unfortunately, to ask if they can investigate, and of course they are like, this is our home, please leave us alone, which is understandable. I mean,
offer them enough money.
Exactly, but it's like,
big TV
I
show.
mean,
well, who was that guy that you said has that the
Franco TV?
Franco
If you look up his I did a reaction to it.
okay, I'll look that up.
He goes to the house, he brings the teddy bear for his condolences. This was like freshly when it happened. He went there because there were still teddy bears, and then that's when the parents of Shannan were actually finally starting to say, you know what, okay, enough is enough, stop leaving stuff, stop putting stuff on the doorstep and so forth. But he went there, and there's tons of stuff on the step, but he could see something in the doorway window that was there, and he's like, that could be something weird, just an anomaly, or not, I can't even say it.
Anomaly.
Yeah, anomaly. And then he's like, you know what, let's take a look up the upstairs bedrooms where the first murder took place, or they say. I still think it happened down in the basement, but he says he murdered Shannan up in the bedroom. But he sees two silhouettes that show up, and the house is empty. So it's kind of like, I mean, Franco has been definitely pretty decent when it comes to his content. I don't think he doctors any of it. So, and he's captured some weird stuff in Puerto Rico and so forth, in cemeteries. And he just posted one today, and you see this figure coming around a corner, and then he goes around there, and I went to school for video editing and photography and graphic design, and I see nothing. So I'm just like kind of floored and flabbergasted that he saw this and so forth. So
yeah, we've had some pretty scary experiences out in an old ghost town at a cemetery.
Oh,
we did a lot of that when we were in Wyoming.
Well, we even have it when we went on the tour in was it San Diego, when we did the paranormal?
Oh yeah, for the Whaley house.
For the Whaley house. We have some video footage, and it's funny because when we first did it, it was an orb that we thought we saw go by, but you see like an orb go behind this kid's head, but it wasn't really, and we kind of focused on that. But a while later, we noticed when I slowed it down, like 6-7 months later, I was showing another kid at Starbucks, like, hey, check out this video I have of this orb. See how this kid reacts? Because this kid kind of looks up at the orb like it touched him. So he kind of reacts to it and then kind of looks back. But when you slow down the video, you actually see a dark shadow pass by. And that's the one that we caught on our own camera, and nobody was walking by.
So you actually got to go through the whole building, like the courthouse part, the upstairs, because this is the place where they had the public hangings inside, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Because I remember Sam and Kobe going to this place quite a few times.
Yeah,
and they caught quite a bit of stuff there. So I'm kind of jealous that you guys got to go there. But
they have a paranormal tour that they allow you to take, and it goes later on at night, where it's like 11 p.m. till 2 a.m. And they give you actual devices and stuff that you can use that are theirs, and to do it with them.
Oh, so I bought a whole bunch. I got this. I got everything that's in this backpack. I got all my stuff ready to go.
We're ready to go. Let's do it.
Yeah, you should check it out. We have our video up, and then I think the other weird one was the bookstore.
We stayed the night at the last bookstore
In Los
the
Angeles.
one that go ahead, you say it, you know the story better, the last place.
Well, it's the last place that Elisa Lam was seen. It's very close to the Cecil Hotel.
Does that have a book like
yes
awning?
Yeah.
Like something from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yes, inside they have it's a really cool bookstore, the last bookstore in LA, but it's the last place that Elisa Lam was at, and we got to stay the night inside the horror vault, and we had a pretty creepy experience in the horror vault as
You
well.
had to sleep there?
We slept
there
the night there.
Wow, that would have been fun.
There was a group of about 8 of us that got to sleep there, so it was pretty cool. But yeah,
wow.
Thank you so much for, oh my gosh, this has been so exciting.
I mean, we could probably talk about this even
forever.
longer. So
I know for
maybe
sure.
Maybe we'll have to make a part 2.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows, right?
If you want to do we could even do like a paranormal thing too.
Yeah. My reaction to slap ham videos while you're watching the slap ham videos.
What is a slap ham? I don't even know what that is.
It's Kellen at Slapped Ham. So he's an awesome guy. I mean, he's been around for the longest time too. Between Slapped Ham, King Frostmare, Nuke's Top 5, I could watch them for days.
I'll send you one of their videos. I'll send you his reaction video to one of them.
I thought it was literally somebody getting slapped with ham, because they throw cheese on people.
It's the name of the YouTube
it's
channel.
The name. I don't know how he came up with it. I know he said it one time, but his logo is a pig's nose and ears.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason it's called Slapped Ham.
Okay. Well,
I'll send it to you. I'll have her watch one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, no problem. Hopefully more viewers come on both sides,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, we
please
told all of our viewers
We told all of our original ones to go to you. So if
subscribe, comment, like, and share.
You didn't get an up crease of 600.
Well, I am just about to hit 27K.
Yes. Nice.
I think if I update it, let's see what I'm at.
Let's see what we're at.
If you guys have never used vidIQ, have you ever used that?
No.
It's a company that through YouTube that helps out with titles and so forth, and they I can show you after we stop recording.
Oh my god, we're at 1300.
I just looked at yours too. You're at 1300, so you're almost 1,000 in a couple days. So
let's sign off. Bye guys, so that you can tell us all about that.
But thank you guys for watching. Go subscribe to both or all of us.
You can go on all day.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See if I stopped it.
Okay, you stopped it. Now, how do I stop it?
The record. This is the recording that never ends. It just goes on, my friends.